Hey guys, my name is Jessica Shealy. I'm the executive director at Cohab, which is a business incubator and a co-working space in downtown Shreveport, Louisiana. Recently, I have started a blog series called Business Insights in Unexpected Places. And while I've been getting those ideas down on paper, such as it is, and publishing them, I also wanted to start putting them out on video. So anybody who is more comfortable taking in their data this way, they can do that and hopefully enjoy and share these videos as well. So, just a little bit about me for those of you I don't know, who hopefully there are some of you. Like I said, I'm the executive director at Cohab. I've been in this role since 2016. I am an original employee of the co-working space and the incubator. So I've been doing business analysis and mentoring and support for entrepreneurs and small business owners up to second stage since 2010. So that's a little bit about me. If you want to learn more about Cohab, you can visit us online at cohab.org or any of our pages here on LinkedIn or other social media. So, without further ado, I want to talk to you a little bit about business insights in unexpected places. Like I said, it's a series that will look at some of the lesser explored media for things that we can learn about how we run our business, how we approach leadership, how we develop culture, and even some psychological thoughts about what we might do as entrepreneurs ourselves to be more comfortable with starting a business or growing a business, stuff like that. So I'm going to start with the first post that I put up, which is not my latest, but like I said, I'm developing this as a companion series. So today I want to talk to you about business insights that I've learned from Garnet of Steven Universe. So when I was in college and I went to Towson University in Baltimore, Maryland, I studied journalism there. But I am also a rock nerd, and I took a lot of geology classes, just because it gave me an excuse to learn something that is pretty far from what I was studying. It checked off some general education requirements, and on the whole, it was just a lot of fun. And so in the blog, I talk about a story. I had a good friend of mine. We were on a field trip and they found a garnet. It was uncut, it was raw. Obviously, it was on the side of a hill at a mall in suburban Baltimore. But it was special to me because I'm a January baby and I love garnets. And all of those things combined, I think, immediately drew my interest to this character of Garnet on Steven Universe. Now, if you've never watched Steven Universe, it is a Cartoon Network show. It is historic because it was the first Cartoon Network show written exclusively by women. And just to give you a really brief and not at all complete synopsis of the show, it's about a little boy named Steven Universe who is growing up and being trained by three aliens. They are crystal gems, and they frequently save the city that they live in, the fictional city, the world, different parts of the universe, each other, Steven. And also, they just do mundane, everyday stuff that we all do living. But this character of Garnet is special. Much like my raw, uncut Garnet from the side of a hill in suburban Baltimore, she is very blunt and upfront. She is very, very cool. One of the coolest cartoon characters out there, in my opinion. And she tells it like it is. And I think that is a great personality to have when we're tackling things to do with relationships. And as with most things, relationships and friendships and romantic relationships, a lot of those lessons also translate into business. All right, so the insights that I want to draw from Garnet and Steven Universe are going to come in the form of quotes. So I want to start with one of the most famous ones. You will hear this on every list about Steven Universe when someone is drawing really inspirational quotes from the show. It's you are an experience. Make sure you're a good experience. And so, I mean, the implications for a business here are pretty obvious. Your company, whether it's a startup or a second stage small business that's been around for, several years and you have lots of employees, it could be a lot of things and it functions as different things for different people. Uh, it could focus very narrowly. Um, it could be broad and offer a range of services. And as such, it can offer, like I said, different things to different people, even different clients. However, all of that pushed aside, your business is an experience. And so, of course, you want to make sure that experience is a good one. You want it to be a good experience for your clients. Obviously, that's the first thing that pops to mind. It would be nice if it's also a good experience for you as an owner, and it's imperative that it's a good experience for your employees if you have them. So remember that no matter what kind of business it is, whether you're in hospitality, food service, professional services, retail, your business is an experience. So make sure it's a good one. Number two, true strength is about more than just how many mountains you can punch in half. Now, this one is cheating just a little bit because it is not spoken by Garnet herself, but our title character, Steven, to Garnet. And so all of our gems have powers, and one of Garnet's comes in the form of her ability to just punch the heck out of things. And so that is a skill that she leans on. Now, this stood out to me because most business owners are in the position they're in, so they've started a business because they excel at something. You may be an amazing chef, you may be an amazing contractor, you may be an amazing hairdresser, you may be an amazing inventor or software developer, but you are doing what you're doing because you have a skill at a thing. You know your stuff and you know how to get things done. You know how to punch mountains in half. But eventually it helps to realize that your true strength is about more than just punching mountains in half, hopefully. Um, and sometimes it's about finding a new path. If you've faced hurdles or challenges, sometimes it's about not giving up on something. Sometimes it's about strategically giving up on things that don't work. It's going to vary from business to business and from person to person, but it's good to know that you don't have to be alone in your business. Sometimes life is about more than just punching mountains in half. All right, number three, there are millions of possibilities for the future, but it's up to you to choose which becomes reality. Please understand you choose your own future. This is from the episode Future Vision. So, like I said, you'll hear this quote over and over again. And from a business standpoint, it brings me back to an issue with almost every struggling small business that I've ever worked with. And it's not capital and it's not finding skilled employees, it's with focus. Whether you are a brand new business idea all the way through a long established business, if you struggle with keeping yourself and your business focused, your business will likely struggle as a reflective result of that. There are a million possibilities, but it is within your power to choose from those possibilities. That choice will be made. It will be made by outside factors. It may be made by your competitors and how they react to you. So you want to be strategic in choosing an outcome, being focused on achieving that outcome, and knowing why you're doing what you're doing, right? You have the power to choose your future, so do it. All right, number four, to find balance, you must understand your feelings. To understand your feelings, you must see them clearly without running from them. And this is from the episode Final Education. So, balance. Much like focus, it's something that you hear a lot about in business. Um, Often we're talking about a work-life balance and self-care and coming out of Mental Health Awareness Month. Those things are really important, and that is part of this. Um, a carefully crafted team, whether it's comprised of full-time team members or, like I said, contractors or service providers, almost always becomes a necessity to help a business owner keep from falling apart as things start to grow and change. Hopefully, as a business owner, success involves some modicum of growth to reach more customers and change to stay relevant to the world as it stands new every day. Um, so you're going to need a team in most cases, not every case, but in most cases, to deal with that growth and those changes. So I think that that is where these feelings come in that we talk about. You have to be honest with yourself about your feelings on how things are changing and developing to be able to see them clearly. You also need to be able to see the feelings and the culture. We'll say, we talk a lot about culture, internal culture in a business. You need to understand the feelings that are coming from your employees and your clients. And all of these packs of feelings, you can't understand them if you run from them. You can't be afraid of honest feedback. You can't be afraid of uh, dealing with feelings within your business because at the end of the day, again, your business is an experience. It's all about feelings. So, just like with your business's direction in the focus, the culture and the feelings inside your business, you can either choose them, decide what you want an environment to be like, or you can choose not to, and someone else will choose it for you. There is always a culture in every business. So we have to feel our feelings, we have to understand our feelings, and to understand them, we can't run away from them. All right. Number five, I believe, is up next. And this one it comes with a little bit of action to it. So I'll describe it as well. So this one shows our friend Garnet unfurling a scroll with all of these like bright neon mystic symbols on them. And she says simply, I have to burn this. To which Stephen, being a typical kid, how many of you can see your own kids or even your employees doing this, takes out his phone and takes a picture of it and says, cool. To which, of course, Garnet replies, I have to burn this too. And she takes his phone away. This is from the episode Together Breakfast. To me, this jumped out immediately because cybersecurity and data security and everything that relates to it, keeping your clients' information and your employees' information secure, is such a dominant concern these days. It's important to think about, even if you're not doing something in a tech arena, right? Every business, we're using the internet, we're using databases, maybe we're using CRMs, we're using cell phones. So it's important to remember that while the technology, all of the tools out there, they can only do so much to mitigate risk, especially cybersecurity and data security risk. And more technology can also lead to more risks. So my point here is just it's a funny way to remember that training your people, your employees, yourself, your contractors to be good stewards of information is not only important, I mean, it's really vital these days. All right, number six starts with Garnet picking up a giant battle axe and saying, never know when you might need one of these. The lesson here, always be prepared. Keep your best tools at hand and be ready as best you can for what life throws at you. All right, number seven, you must learn to help yourself. That's how you become stronger. So this is kind of the flip side of the coin where we talk about our team building, right? Is you're not going to be good at everything. You will need help as you grow and you change. And this one is from the episode Shirt Club, by the way. But you're going to need other people to lean on. But um, I think it's important to remember as we grow, especially as we're getting bigger and bigger. So beyond more than a couple of people, but maybe in a situation where there are employees who are under other employees, maybe even who are under an additional set of managers. Um, it's important to remember that just because you as an owner are not the one who is carrying out a task or process, it doesn't mean that it's not important for you to understand it and why it's important in your larger process as a business. It doesn't mean you have to know how to carry it out per se, but you need to know generally what's going on within both the technical parts of your business, the service or the product you're providing, and also within the business elements. In other words, you have to learn to help yourself. Um, you have to do that to know if someone else is doing a good job helping you by doing that task. Otherwise, you only know half of what's going on. So, I guess the overall message is don't be afraid to lean on other people, but also don't forget to learn how to help yourself. All right, number 8. I think you can do it, but it won't work if you dance like Pearl. You have to dance like you. This is from the episode We Need to Talk. So competition in lean canvassing and business plans and mentor conversations and all of the planning that we do as a new and early stage business, we talk about competition. Who else in the market is doing what you're doing, or more appropriately, solving the problems that you're trying to solve, and how are they doing it? First of all, I think it's important to remember that direct competitors, so, Bob or Jane down the street who has a similar business, is not the only form that competition comes in. Very often, your strongest competition is nothing, because if someone's not already solving the problem, it might not be a problem that the nothing that is free and easy isn't sufficiently solving. But if you do have direct competitors in the field, it's important to look at the dance that you're doing to bring your product or service to market for your customer and evaluate why it's different from everyone else's, and evaluate the different ways in which you can dance like you. It's really tempting to just drop prices and say, well, I'm going to be an affordable, approachable solution. But is that the best solution? It could be the opposite of the best solution. You may do such a stellar job, you want to go with a more expensive route. You may want to offer better customer service. You may have skills that your competitors don't have, or certifications or education. But while this may vary from business owner to business owner, it's important to know what it's like to dance like you, because that will ultimately be what draws your best customers to you. All right, number 9 is from the leadership books. It's not easy being in control. I have weaknesses too, but I choose not to let them consume me. I struggle to stay strong because I know the impact I have on everyone. And this is from the episode Friendship. So being the boss isn't hard. It's hard. And even if you find a group of people you can talk to who understand what you're going through, which is one of the reasons why I always encourage folks to find a business owner group or a CEO group, find a Vistage group, or in Louisiana, you can join a CEO roundtable or perspectives group, depending on how big your business is. Go and find other business owners to talk to, because they're going to understand you and what you're going through better than most. But even still, you are still where the buck stops for your business. And there is a lot of pressure and stress that comes with that. So this is part of leadership, is understanding that you have those weaknesses. You don't have to be perfect. You can't necessarily fix them all. So much like not running from our feelings earlier, once we accept those and understand those things, we can make the choice not to let them dominate us. And once you come to terms with that, that's going to help you not only be a greater leader from a mental health and stress perspective for yourself, but it's also going to teach you how to give grace to employees who are going through the same kind of thing. So remember, You have weaknesses, but you can choose not to let them consume you. All right, next up, your soulmate is your complement, not your missing piece. This is from Together Forever. So, talking about soulmates, a lot of us just assume kind of a romantic situation, but there are soulmates, I believe, in all kinds of relationships. So, should you, as a business owner or your business as an organization, be looking for a soulmate? This is just a reminder to look for a complement, not a way to fill your missing pieces that you haven't developed. Finding new people to build your business with is rarely going to fix inherent problems. It's going to instead help you to elevate the things that you're doing well and take the business to a next level. So don't go looking for other people to solve those problems. Look for a complement, not a missing piece. And finally, one last bonus one. Check in on your left rear tire before you hit the desert. It's not serious, but it could be trouble if left unchecked. And this is from the episode The Future. So in addition to being the coolest of the gems, our friend Garnet has the ability to see possible future outcomes. So she's more than just fists. She can also see possibilities down the road and see what can befall her fellow characters. No wonder she's feeling this stress from this leadership position. As a business owner, or maybe as a parent, as an older sibling, something like that, most of us know how it feels to create something and to carry it. And then maybe if you've grown to this point, you know what it's like to then let that thing walk on its own and trust that you have created for it a strong enough foundation to exist and to thrive without you, at least on a day-to-day hands-on basis. Garnet doesn't know the future. She just sees possible outcomes. And that's convenient because we also don't know the future, but we can also try to look and see future possible outcomes. So this is your reminder to budget, like on paper, like in a spreadsheet, or a QuickBooks Zero, some kind of tool for budgeting. Do outlooks, financial outlooks, and pro formas for a year, a couple of years, 10 years. Do strategic planning. And I mean, again, write it down on paper. Maybe take your key members or just yourself and your advisors, if you're a small shop, offsite, and create a 1 year plan and a 5 year plan and a 10 year plan. Put your goals on paper, but check on that left rear tire. It's going to help you find potential pitfalls down the road. It's also going to help you find potential opportunities. So if you're only looking at day to day and you're not looking ahead, you could miss a lot. It could be nothing, but it could give you problems or missed opportunities down the road. So there you have it. That is my extensive list of things that I took away from specifically from Garnet and Steven Universe that I think can be helpful in a business setting. I hope that you will take away one or two that is helpful for you to think about and that you might be able to use and practice in the short term. And I hope you'll check back in with us and see what future insights from unexpected places that we have for you. Thank you so much for sticking it out to the end, guys. I really appreciate you.